The winning streak halted at 8 games by the Tampa Bay Lightning, 7-4. Lots of goals in this one. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Stream postgame show on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you. Joaquin Gage joining us as well tonight, filling in for Matt Cassian, and YouTube Trev holding things down back at ESTHQ. The Oilers, a million shots tonight, and Andrei Vasilevskiy, absolutely unreal. Vasilevskiy, and then mix in a hat trick, actually 4 goals from Steven Stamkos, and we're talking about an Oilers loss on a night where, man, any other goalie in the league, they'd probably be winning this game. I think they would have won this game if it wasn't for Vasilevskiy, simply put. Let's go to the scoring summary and the tail of the tape, and then let's bring in Joaquin Gage right after that, YouTube Trev. So the Oilers fall 7-4. If you do want to comment, get in on the nasty chat. I see it's buzzing already. Lots of Skinner chatter there, and we'll discuss. I can hear Gager's giggling already, so he's ready for this one. Lots to get into. Good night for Joaquin to be on the post-game show for sure. All right, so Steven Stamkos opened up the scoring. Just, 107 in from Paul and Kucherov, and then it would be Tyler Mott adding to the lead at 7:17 from Radish and Isamont to make it 2-0 Tampa after 1. In the second period, the Oilers, who I thought had a pretty damn good first period despite being down 2-0, had an even better second period. Absolutely dominating, outshooting Tampa 24-7. They had it initially at 25-7, and they took a shot away going into the third period. However, Darnell Nurse would cut the Tampa lead in half, his 5th of the season, short-handed from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Derek Ryan. Then it would be Connor McDavid at 7:20. He gets one on the power plays, 11th of the year, off the faceoff, unassisted, to make it 2-2. And then before the period was up at 10:02, the Oilers would add their third of the night, 3 unanswered. Zach Hyman off the absolute bomb. I was going to say boosh blast, but it was a bomb. Hyman's got 17. That one also coming on the power play. Nugent-Hopkins, the second assist on that one. 3-2 Oil after 2, and the Tampa Bay Lightning storm back. That's a terrible pun. I apologize. Steven Stamkos, 2nd of the night, 12th of the year from Hayden Fleury and Connor Sheary to make it 3-3. Great hand-eye coordination from Stamkos to bat that one in from a bad angle. Banks it in off of Stuart Skinner. Beautiful goal by Stamkos at 6:48 for the Hattie. And then Nikita Kucherov would make it, his 20th of the year, would make it 4-3 from Braden Point and Mikhail Sergachev. And then Stamkos, that one I think was his Hattie, if I'm counting properly. His wrister at 14:02 off the post and in to make it 5-3. The Lightning would add a couple of empty netters, and the Oilers fall 7-4. Stamkos getting one of them, and Nugent-Hopkins would get the 5-4 tally. NHL.com, Gager, not even up to date on their scoring summary, so that's why I'm all discombobulated. Shots on goal, 55. 24 in favor of the Oilers. Face-off percentage, 53.8 to 46.2 in favor of Edmonton. Both the Oilers' power play and PK goes 50%. The power play 2 for 4, the PK 1 for 2. So the Lightning did get one on the Oilers' PK, which has been excellent of late. Hits 25-19 in favor of Edmonton. Block shots 19-17 in favor of Tampa. 19-18 officially are the giveaways. Tampa with the 19, Edmonton with the 18, and then takeaways, the Oil with 15 to Tampa Bay's 12. Let's get Joaquin Gage in here as the Oilers fall 7-4 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Gager, as people text into our inbox, 780-218-9999. And as I watch the nasty chat go, I'm seeing a lot of Skinner this, Skinner that, Skinner this, Skinner that. Listen, this is a night where you can actually say the Oilers got goalied. They got goalied by one of the best in the world. And on a night where they peppered him with 55 shots, they still managed to get 4. And Stuart Skinner did make some big saves on this night. But to those that are saying Skinner could have been this, Skinner should have been that, I didn't like the Kucherov goal. Don't get me wrong. But what would you say to those looking at Stuart Skinner and going, that's the reason why the Edmonton Oilers lost tonight?
Well, first you got to look at the guy at the other end. If Andrei Vasilevskiy just had back surgery, he's going to need surgery again pretty soon if this keeps up, because he's carrying the team. That was an unbelievable performance by a goaltender, still allowing 4 and saying that he played a really, really good game. I mean, if we go to the other end, Stuart Skinner had probably about what was that? 40, 50 good minutes, 45 really good goaltending minutes. Those last 3 goals, though, you can't allow those. And sometimes when things are going good as a goalie, you're doing everything right, and just an unbelievable play by Steven Stamkos to knock that puck out of the air. Not only knock it out, but put some steam on it and put it perfectly just off the skate inside the post. That takes away from your confidence a little bit at that point. As a goalie, they're like, gosh, I did everything right. A guy came down, perfect positioning, putting the puck into the corner out of harm's way, and a guy swats it from behind the goal line into the net. And sometimes that rattles you a little bit, and it looked like it really did with Stuart Skinner. I didn't like the Kucherov goal.
No.
That's you have to stop that puck. It gets even worse with Stamkos from the tops of the circles, standing still, beating you glove. I know there's a little bit of a screen, but as a goalie, you gotta battle through screens and locate that puck, especially when the Stars got it. Man, the Tampa Stars were awesome. Those guys, they've been doing it for a long time. Don't tell me they don't get like juiced up to go up against Connor and Leon as well. Gosh, that Kucherov, man.
Yeah,
he is slick. His little passes, the way he darts through the zone, his shot, man, it's fun to watch really good players. He's smooth as silk.
Yeah, he really is. Kucherov with a 3-point performance, Stamkos the 4 goals, and so I think it was Lou that texted into the nasty chat, said, "Come on, Tom, call it like it is." I didn't like the Kucherov goal. Yes, the goal from distance by Stamkos wasn't great, but man, Stuart Skinner just won his last 7 starts in a row, and people are dumping all over him when the guy at the other end put on just an all-world performance. I understand the frustration tonight, but I see text coming in saying, lost because the Oilers aren't going to win because they're playing a backup goalie. Come on, Gager. Like, that's being a little bit irrational now.
Look, Stuart Skinner's been really good these past 7 games. Great goaltending performances, giving his team a chance to win. Part of that is the defensive play, but yeah, he allowed 2 bad goals at a crucial time in the game, and it cost the team at least a point. So. Yeah, I guarantee he's not letting himself off the hook here. No. He knows what happened tonight, but you can't disregard what he's been doing lately for this team, and have it all summed up in 15 minutes. Like that's not fair to the player as well. I always look at the response, right? Now let's get things back on track. The Oilers have been able to do that in game a lot lately, going down 2-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight and battling back and getting that lead, slipping away late. But let's see what their mental state is now. Okay, something slipped. We played really well. We had tons of chances to get back in this game, but we ran up against the Russian wall.
Absolutely incredible performance from Andrei Vasilevskiy. Gager, let's talk about Vasilevskiy. It seemed like the emphasis from the Oilers was to go blocker side on him. They beat him blocker side a few times, but barely, considering they peppered him with 55 that actually got to net, and then add the ones that they missed or got blocked. But how would you stack up that performance from Andrei Vasilevskiy that we watched tonight compared to some of the best that we've seen in recent memory? I think of Ben Scrivens against, what was it, San Jose the one night where he was absolutely insane, or was it LA? Where he had like
San Jose.
Yeah.
I mean, that was even more. That was one of the most amazing goaltending performances I ever witnessed myself. Was the one that Ben did that night. This one, I mean, Vasilevskiy still allowed 4 goals.
I know.
And some of the saves, one of the saves, like full splits, Tommy, and he's not a small man. Like,
he's huge.
He's a massive individual, huge human. And for him to go down full splits, and he just seals everything off on the bottom. Like, you have to do something. You have to get it up over the pad. He does an amazing job of his scrambling ability. And not only that, Tommy, a lot of goalies, when they get in that position, that's it, right? We have to get the puck out for me to get a crane to lift the guy back up off the ice. Vasilevskiy is still able to make saves from those awkward positions, which is even more fascinating to me. I know they were going high blocker, but he also made some unreal blocker saves in tight, guys with time, right in the slot, Tommy. There was I'd like to see the stats, and actually for the dangerous chances against, they were astronomical for the Oilers this evening. So
yeah,
you know what? You look at the skill and the way, I don't like the last 2 goals, not the last 2, but just with Stamkos from distance, Kucherov kind of fluky, kind of get his stick on something that should have been stopped. You hand it to the skill of the Tampa Bay Lightning, because the Oilers did deserve a better fate tonight.
Yeah, they that second period, man, was one of the best periods I've seen them play.
Yeah,
in a really, really long time. Everybody on the ice, even Connor Brown, even Ryan McLeod, and yes, even Stuart Skinner. He had to make a couple of good saves. I noted a few of them, but yes, we recognize and acknowledge where he let up and had some lapses. But the guy at the other end of the rink absolutely stole the show. And Tampa has some damn good players, including the current leading scorer in the National Hockey League in Nikita Kucherov. 7-4, the Oilers fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The 8-game winning streak is over. They'll look to start a new one in tough Saturday against the Florida Panthers. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage, and YouTube Trev with you. Nasty chat is buzzing, as it usually does. Smash that thumbs up, please, and thank you, despite your anger and frustration on the night. And then the inbox, 780-218-9999. Gager, let's go into the inbox. Let's start with Dirty Curdy. Dirty Curdy says, besides getting completely goalied, extremely disappointed with Leon's effort late around the net, just not willing to get near the blue paint. And on the first empty net goal, half-ass back check. I mean, take a few hard strides for once. FFS, if you don't know what that means, I am not going to say it or spell it out. That second line is an abyss right now. I thought Drysdale's feet were actually moving pretty good in the first 2 periods, had an excellent back check, and I thought that Foegele and Janmark were absolutely buzzing in the first 2 periods, and Drysdale and those two looked all right. What did you see, Gager?
I saw a team, to me, Tommy, tonight's game, for the most part, looked like a first line, a second line, and 2/3. Like, the way that the Oilers were able, and both teams did a masterful job of forward checking and creating things off the forward check. That second period, like you mentioned, that was one of the, I would say, the best periods of hockey the Oilers have played this season. Hemming in really good defensemen, making them make mistakes, and getting chances over turnovers. Look, you can nitpick all you want with Leon's not getting to the blue paint, but there were tons of chances to score. Like, it's not like they weren't getting good looks. Sometimes you have that safety valve guy off to the side. If the puck comes loose, you can get it to him. how many times has that happened with the Oilers and Leon's found like Boosh or Nuge off the backside for an easy tap in, right? I didn't have a problem with their desire to get to the blue paint.
Oh, we lost Joaquin there. We'll get him back shortly. 7-4, the Oilers fall. There he is. He's coming back. We're bringing him back in here. Gager's back. Oh, you had it cut out. All right, continue, Gager. Sorry, cut out briefly there.
Oh no, it's just saying I didn't really have a problem with the intestinal fortitude of Leon Drysdale not getting to the blue paint. That's I felt he had a good game. He's moving his feet a lot on the forecheck, created some things. I didn't see straight leg Leon tonight.
Yeah. His numbers not that great tonight. -2 penalty minutes. Some in the nasty chat saying he took a stupid penalty. Thomas M says, Tom, are you drunk? No, I'm not. I have not had a libation. And Drysdale also had 6 shots and won 69.6% of his faceoffs and played 21.58. So the faceoff percentage, outstanding. Did have 6 shots of the 55 the Oilers got on Vasilevskiy. -2 penalty minutes, and 21.58 time on ice. I thought Foegele and Janmark looked pretty damn good with him. I thought they were better, certainly, than what Kane and Brown were with Drysdale the other night. And we know that Kane's a little bit nicked up, hasn't been skating at the morning skating practices lately. And Connor Brown's just had a really rough 21 games to start the year, coming off knee surgery. So,
still wanted like the one player that was hard to notice, I would say, was Ryan McLeod tonight. Right, there were a few moments that you saw him really making an impact on the game. I didn't have too much of a problem, but just we're waiting for him to take that next step to get to that place where he's a counted, reliable centerman in the league. But maybe I'm just nitpicking a little bit too much with McLeod because we've been on him for a while here, Tommy. But I'd like to see him just raise his intensity level with the physical play. I know we've been harping on this for a while, but I think this was I don't see it enough. It's too far and it doesn't happen often enough for me.
Yeah, fair enough. 7-4, the Oilers fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The winning streak is over, and YouTube Trev all over it. YouTube Trev, he knew that it was 7-4. He fixed it. Thank you for those saying that, hey, 7-4, not 6-4. We got it. Trev was not anticipating that second empty netter. All right, let's go back into the inbox. Byron texts in, says, goaltender did not do his job. Team played well, though. Safety Bob says, I don't understand how everyone sticks up for Skinner. Once again, he can't make the routine save, and it costs the Oilers. Get your head out from up Skinner's butt and call it as it is. Skinner is a second-tier goalie, not a starter. And don't give me the look how he played the last 7 games. He didn't do anything spectacular. Skinner was not the reason we won those games. We need a bona fide starter. Enough of this crap. Safety Bob. Safety Bob.
Wow.
Take a couple deep breaths because that was a bad take, dog. Bad take. The guy's won, 10 of his last 13 starts, 7 in a row. The defense has played better in front of him. He was an all-star last year, a Calder finalist. Yeah, he had some bad moments tonight, and it cost them. But the other guy was absolutely ridiculously lights out.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, I will say that I'll put it out there. The reason why the Oilers lost tonight was the play of Stuart Skinner with those 2 late goals in the third period.
Yes.
That's to tell you the truth, I didn't even really like the one out of the air. Right, it was kind of admiring your save. It's up in the air. You just don't. I've said this before, Tommy. As a goalie, you have to be completely until that puck gets out of the zone, like across your blue line. You have to be prepared for anything to happen. And it caught him off guard. No one in the whole arena or the city of Edmonton, except for Steven Stamkos, thought about knocking that thing into. It was a great play, but again, that's a stoppable puck. The Kucherov stoppable puck again with Stamkos. You can't allow. That's those are those goals that we saw years ago with those backbreaker moments where the team's pushing, trying to get back, and then you let in a floater from outside the tops of the circles in the middle of the ice. Just can't happen. And Stuart Skinner knows that. Look, watch how he comes back. I guarantee he's going to come back with a stronger game. The Oilers are playing really good hockey, and not only that's encouraging is now Stuart Skinner in his next game still has the confidence. He's not stopping backdoor tap-ins. He can focus on his game, get back, and just relax, start making those saves again, and get through that whole 60 minutes.
780-218-9999 and the nasty chat. Listen, just to get the record straight, I fully acknowledge that he let in bad goals tonight. But did you see Vasilevskiy and how amazing he was? Let's start there. And then secondly, his record is pretty damn good lately. And the other thing I don't understand is how after an 8-game winning streak, everybody, there are some smart people that are not saying anything, is just dogpiling on Stuart Skinner. Dogpiling. Yes, he had a bad third period. Yes, he let in bad goals tonight. Take a step back and a deep breath and relax. And stop getting mad when we tell you he's been all right lately. He helped this team get on that 8-game winning streak. He's helped be a part of this turnaround. Without him, certainly not with Jack Campbell and probably not with Calvin Pickard, are they even where they're at right now at 13-13-1.
I think, too, people are forgetting the Winnipeg game a few weeks ago, Tommy, where he went up against arguably one of the best goalies on the planet and outdueled him. You saw what a bad goal led in by Connor Hellebuck, and Stuart Skinner held the fort down and brought the win. Like that's an impressive win. He has the ability to do these things. Not everyone has the ability to do what Vasilevskiy did tonight. That's just a crazy, crazy game. But even Louis alluded to, and I kind of looked it up, in his last few starts, Vasilevskiy's been good. Mm-hmm. But when he hasn't been like we've seen tonight, the Tampa Bay has lost, and he hasn't played well in the losses is essentially what he said, right? So Vasilevskiy's having to play like this for the team to win. That kind of play isn't sustainable. Yeah. And did we really think that Stuart Skinner was going to walk through the rest of the season not losing another game, not allowing a bad goal? That just doesn't. That's not realistic. All right. For him to do what he did over these 8 games is really impressive. That's not easy accomplishment to do. So I think nothing tells me that he can't, or this whole team, that he can't put together another long winning streak with the Edmonton Oilers.
780-218-9999. Gager, I am absolutely eating it in the nasty chat right now. But I get it. I get the frustration. Yes, I get it. But like,
we're fickle. We're fickle here in Edmonton. We want perfection every single game.
I know.
And I mean, I don't know what would make Oilers fans I guess, I can see the frustration with the 2 goals because they're stoppable pucks, right? And I mean, I've said it in 2 guys. This city has been privy to such great goaltending over the years with the likes of Fuhr, Ranford, Salo, Rolison, myself, right? Like it's it's just become second hat to have those types of goalies. But look, let's relax. You know, I know it's probably now that I think about it, Tommy, 6 o'clock or lager is coming back this weekend. Everyone just take a. They're in withdrawals right now. It'll be back at Safeway, Sobeys liquor stores very soon, and we can get back to it on Saturday night.
I saw a text in the nasty chat said only in Edmonton would people complain about an 8-1 stretch.
Yeah. Did I say Cujo? I didn't throw a Cujo in there.
Cujo is absolutely tremendous for sure. Yes, good. JR21 says, Tommy, we're asking for league average. I understand. He was working his way back to league average. I said it on the pregame show. I'm like, look at that. He's creeping up to 8 or 900 and he's gotten below 3 and that's progress. And it took forever. It took 26 games for him to get there, but he did it. Someone else pointed out that Skinner had a rough 7 or 8 games to start. Yeah, the team was absolutely atrocious and the goaltending wasn't particularly great. Although both goalies were getting hung out to dry during that first, 15 games or so. So we acknowledge and recognize it. And just to reiterate, I agree with you. Some of those goals that Skinner let in tonight were not good. They were substandard. Let's all relax. The Oilers' winning streak comes to an end at 8 games. 780-218-9999. Let's bring in YouTube, Trev. Let's see how the kid's doing after that one. Where do you come out on this one, Trev? I know your heart and where it lies. Are you mad at Stuart Skinner like a lot of the fan base? Are you mad at the hockey gods for giving Vasilevskiy an absolutely masterful performance tonight? Where are you coming out on this one, pal?
Yeah, that's what losing feels like. It's hard to, it's a tough loss, right? It's a frustrating loss. They played good. That's why it is so disappointing. Obviously Vasilevskiy is just unreal, right? I was telling Gager before the show, my buddy just started watching hockey, my roommate, and he said, wow, like this goalie is really good. I'm like, yeah, like one of the best in the world. He stood on his head tonight. What an unreal performance. It was tough, and there's just so many plays Vasilevskiy just negated by just putting his stick down. Anytime anyone would get close, he'd just flatten his stick or give a poke check, it would just really kill the play. Yeah, it sucked. It's tough. It's a tough loss, but I mean, yes, Stuart Skinner, you can't really fault the guy. He's looked unreal the last, stretch, and he has one bad game. Everyone's just ripping him apart. You can't really fault him that much. Yeah, like he should have those saves. It sucks, but I mean, he's human. He's going to make mistakes, and as of late, he's looked unreal. So, I'm not jumping on all this Stuart Skinner hate right now. It's one game. It's they clawed their way back into a playoff spot. A large part due to Stuart Skinner's play. So yeah, he wasn't the greatest tonight. He's going to be the first to say it if they ask him in the post game. I'll be interested to see what he has to say if he's one of the interviewees. So all around okay. I really like the fourth line. I thought they were clicking tonight. They drew 2 penalties. They've got a lot of chances. So that line is going to be interesting to see what they can do in the future. As for the Clouder line with Kane and Connor Brown, not a heck of a whole lot going there. I wouldn't be surprised if they shake it up because, that they didn't really offer much. And Drysdale's line, it was nice. They had some pretty good zone possession in the second and in the first, but it was tough, right? They didn't, there's nothing to show for it. So ultimately, yeah, it's a disappointing loss. They probably should have won this one, and I think that's why, the fans, the nasty chat, everyone's just frustrated, right? But all in all, they just won 8 straight, right? The Oilers are back in a playoff position. Look at the big picture. Yeah, it's a tough loss, but they'll be back, right? This is a good team. Kucherov, Vasilevskiy, you look at the stars, you guys said it all, right? It's a good team. This is one team, Vasilevskiy, he's going to win a game for you. He's that good. So, yeah, that's the way she goes. And as for the score, the 6-4, yeah, I just didn't want to put the last goal on because it sucks. But that's all I got, boys. That's all I got. And, I also want to say first loss in the 6 o'clock or logger era. I put that in the nasty chat. Yeah. So, that's tough. But, yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got tonight, boys.
Well said.
That's, that team is still a really good team.
It is.
They had a stat of how much hockey that they've actually played. I mean, they gave up a lot tonight too, right? Like that's
lots of odd man rushes.
Well, they can't play like that on a regular basis. They're going to fall apart. They will not make the playoffs. And Andrei Vasilevskiy can't go every game stopping 55 shots. That's just not possible.
Not sustainable.
A goalie, Tommy, and I mean, this is almost at every level. There's 2, 3, maybe 4 times in a whole year where you put the team on your back and you pull out a victory somehow, just with maybe there's a little bit of luck, but you're just unconscious certain games. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. And this was just one of those nights. And I know Dusty's gonna hate me for saying it, but it was a little bit of getting goalied tonight, with added bad, letting in a couple stinkers on the other end.
Okay, they're stinkers. We're acknowledging them as stinkers, just to set the record
at a time where the team's really pushing and trying to just lock it down and get this next win and move on. And that was tough. That was really tough.
We're anticipating Leon Drysdale, Stuart Skinner, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, as well as Chris Knobloch, to speak to the media. We will get to those when we have them. 7-4, the Oilers fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning. 780-218-9999. If you want to text in, share your thoughts. Before you continue to rip me for saying Skinner's been good lately, keep in mind we have acknowledged the bad goals, just to make sure everyone knows, so they can take a deep breath. Brad from Crossfield says, boys, I got to take some heat off Skinner. The Oilers didn't lose since I got my haircut. I have another haircut booked tomorrow. All is well. Thank you, Brad from Crossfield. Appreciate you taking and deflecting some of the heat. Hontario Momes texts in, says, boys, Skinner's 8 other games in October was more because the team in front of him than stealing games. They needed him tonight, and he had a bathroom accident in his pants like my 42-year-old ellipses. So Hontario Momes making a dirty joke there. That one stinks, Hontario Momes. That joke stinks, but I get it. Library Pat says, Kucherov goal was more CC's fault than Skinner's. Didn't play either puck or 86. I have seen some people chiming in about Cody CC Gager. What would you say to Library Pat's comment on that goal?
Kucherov's an eel, right? And that Stuart Skinner got, in my mind, in that situation, he looked uncomfortable, right? He was trying to not let he does such a good job usually of letting the game come to him, or letting the puck come to him. That was a case where you don't see him make that move a lot, like trying to poke check the puck away from harm. Most of the time, Tommy, in those situations, he's stable at the top of the crease, lets the puck come to him, and he covers it up. It was very uncharacteristic of that play. And I think what led to it was the prior goal of just like, what's going on? That's ridiculous. How does he score like that when I did everything that I'm supposed to do with the rebound, right? Just getting a little bit uncomfortable. I have no problem with CC. Kucherov was able to get his stick on a puck that should have went right into Skinner's pad, but instead he's trying to poke check the puck away for some reason at that point, instead of just letting it come to him, killing the play, and just getting the face-off and starting fresh from there. So kind of just taking from old personal experiences, that's kind of what I saw at that play.
Thank you, Gager. All right, let's go to Brendan, who texts in and says, hey, boys, can't wait for the breakdown and thoughts on Skinner's performance. Thought he looked fatigued, was just a little off in my opinion. Looks slow to react to the puck. He's been so good throughout the streak. I think they need to find a backup they trust, whether that's Pickard, Campbell, or other. Skinner can't play 70 this year. I agree. He shouldn't be playing 70 games, nor should any goalie. And we're at a time now in the National Hockey League where it's a tandem system. Some people are still coming at me about the goaltending. Relax. Aiden Hill. Did you have Aiden Hill winning a Stanley Cup last year, leading the Golden Knights to a Stanley Cup? Relax, okay? Matt Murray's not even in the NHL anymore. He won 2 with Pittsburgh. Antti Niemi, like Darcy Kemper. Come on. Boy. This text says, oh, come on. Maybe a couple bad goals, but one from nearly the blue line, that killed him. Then it's on him all the way. This one from Calgary Glenn says, Oilers fans can be the worst. The team played great, a couple of bad goals. So be it. Let's start a new streak on Saturday. Glenn going with the positive side of things. This one says, Skinner has not been great for the last 7 games. The team played great, eliminating good scoring opportunities.
You don't win hockey games with subpar goaltending. I'm sorry. Even it doesn't matter how the team plays. Stuart Skinner has played great. Calvin Pickard played great in his performance. They're getting really good performances throughout their whole lineup. I think this whole winning streak, Tommy. Yeah, if you look at Leon, that line, I'm still on the fence. I still think they should keep kind of that. I would have liked to see him stay with Brown and Kane. I thought they were getting closer. I understand moving, and Leon, I know he doesn't have the greatest body language, and of course he wants to contribute, wants to be one of the scorers, and things just don't seem to be clicking for him too much 5-on-5 lately. But I do think there's something there. Could be added to the just Kane, he's not skating in the mornings, might be a little bit banged up. We know Brown's making sawdust out of that stick, ripping it so hard, right? But I really think there's something there. And look, this is, I think I said before, this was going to be a kind of specialty teams game too, right? You saw how good Tampa's power play was. Edmonton comes back with a great shorthanded goal. Darnell Nurse gets it going for him. There was a lot of good things to take out of this game, but it's such a fine line. And I really think let's see what happens Saturday night. That's the biggest test. Allowing a couple goals. How are you going to that you should have had? How are you going to respond to that? Let's see what type of, because we're going to see Stuart Skinner Saturday night. I can almost guarantee it. So barring any illness or sickness like that, but let's see how he responds to a game where he's going to have to play another solid performance for the Oilers to get 2 points.
Fair point. I'm laughing, Gager, because I'm going into the text line and I'm seeing a lot of expletives being hurled at us, and we're being called a lot of names. I noticed the short name for the shorted abbreviated version of Richard, followed by the word head. I'm seeing a lot of that towards us, so thank you. Very funny. We do have some audio coming at you right away here. I love this job. I expect this. Like, I know you're pissed off, but like, Jesus, relax. This is why I love this. And I know I'm poking people and getting them to get all pissed off, but relax. It's going to be okay, I think. I want to read this one from the Reverend. It says, hey guys, with everyone complaining about Skinner and saying we need a number one goalie, who on earth do they think we are getting? Is there even any available? I would assume not. That's from the Reverend. And then I think I saw another one in the nasty chat that I wanted to throw at you, and it came in from JT. And Gager, you already said you expect Skinner on Saturday night. JT says, let's roll with Pickard, baby. Why wouldn't they do that? Just to get it out there.
Because you want Skinner to get back in there. I think you give him another chance. It's just like everything's magnified with a goalie, obviously, because of the position. But it's the same as making a mistake, turnovers at the blue line, right? Mm-hmm. If the guy goes and sits on the bench or misses a shift, it's the only way that happens with the goalie is if they don't play. I don't think, we've said this time, they were horrible goals. They were bad goals.
Yes.
I really think I could have stopped those two. That's how bad those goals were. But you can't punish the players like that. And we heard Nabla talk about that when he came in. These guys, there's certain points to be hard on a player. When he got here, that it wasn't one of those times. These guys were already too hard on themselves.
Right.
That there would be no purpose in sitting Stuart Skinner, because he's going to think, I let in those goals. Now they're taking me out because of that. That's the obvious kind of reason that you would come up with. Give this guy, get him back in there, get him back and feeling good about his game, because you're going to need him for a long period of time. Having the trust of your coach, I know he has the trust of his players. It would be a huge, huge mistake not to go back to Stuart Skinner, because it shows that everyone's not equal, right? Everyone makes mistakes at times. You have to treat everyone the same. By starting Stuart Skinner again, you're treating the whole team the same.
Duck Dad via the nasty chat says, 2 of the best snipers in modern hockey were given too much room to do their thing, and they will punish you, and they don't need a lot of shots to do so. And then Dusty, who's in under the Edmonton Sports Talk channel, says, Tommy, you can say dick on the postgame show if you want. LOL, Dusty. I don't want to use that word.
He also said night. He's going to bed.
So. Oh, good night, Dusty. See you tomorrow. You have a big day tomorrow. Okay, Gager, I don't know how long you want to stick around for. Do you want to listen to Stuart Skinner first?
And yeah, sure. I'd like to hear it.
And then we'll take a look ahead to Saturday, and then we'll go from there. Okay, pal, let's hear from Stuart Skinner first, Trev, and then we can reassess everything after we hear from the goaltender.
There, kind of what you saw and how you felt about him.
Yeah, obviously don't feel good about him. Yeah. The puck was bobbling on Cooch's. I went for it, and kind of at that exact time, he pulled it and put it in 5-hole. Obviously, doesn't look great. So, yeah, and then after that, Stammer came in, and I mean, I'm not going to make any excuses. So, move on and work forward.
Do you think that the first one of those caused the second one? You know what I mean? Did you think about the first one too long and the second one's past you?
No, I think I do a pretty good job at kind of getting back into the zone. I know that I still got a job to do. It's a 1-goal game, and like what you saw happen was we ended up scoring. And if I was able to make that last save, you know, we might still be playing right now. So, but no, that wasn't an issue.
Did Stamkos' hat-trick goal, did that go off anything? Did that change directions on you?
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I'm going to look back at it.
You guys have earned I don't want to say breathing room, but losses don't have to be as heavy as maybe they were before. You've earned some, too, with your play lately. Is it important to kind of keep that in mind, you know, with this loss tonight, that it's not necessarily as acute as it was before?
Yeah, I think the guys played a heck of a game. I don't think anybody in this room should be upset except for me, to be honest. I think that I ended up kind of losing us the game, and that's something that I'll take on, and I'll be better for it. But I think these guys in here should all be very happy with how they played. They were fantastic.
Yeah, Leon said you would probably win that game 8 or 9 times out of 10, right? So I'm sure that's a lot of solace for you guys to take forward, right?
Yeah, Vasi was also incredible. It was my first time playing against him, and it was pretty spectacular what he was doing. And yeah, I think Leo said it really well. I think, you know, these guys should all be very happy about it.
You play the position, you understand it obviously better than most. What is it about from your vantage point watching that makes Vasilevskiy so good? What do you respect about his game as a goalie?
I respect a lot about him as a goalie. Yeah, he's obviously the best in the world at the game as a goalie right now, and he's so athletic. He competes so hard. I think he's able to make the easy saves. He's really good at making the difficult saves too. But yeah, his flexibility, his capability to compete, it's quite impressive to see, especially for a guy his size.
You talk about, you know, I mean, not many guys stand there and say I cost the team the game here. It's part of being a goalie, I guess, and just part of the job. How important is it to be good at that part of the job too?
Yeah, I think you got to take ownership when you need to. I know, obviously, as a goalie, I have opportunities to help us win games, and I also have sometimes I end up losing the game for the guys. So, yeah, it's one of those roles, and I picked that role because I love it. So I'm gonna keep on loving that, and this is only gonna make me better. So, yeah. Is what it is.
It's maybe a little cathartic, where it's, you know, instead of letting it fester, you just say, "Hey, didn't have a great one. Let's move on."
Yeah. To be honest, I thought like in the first 2 periods, I thought I was doing pretty good. Like I thought I made some good saves, but obviously the third period, you don't want it to be like that. So, yeah, same thing. Like I know that I can make those saves, and I will do that next time. So yeah, it's kind of one of those where you learn from your mistakes, you move on.
Not a lot. I mean, not a lot of time to sit back and rest on laurels, but 8 in a row is pretty good. What do you guys kind of look back on your streak? Take forward and get some else going?
Yeah, I think just how we kept on winning, being able to get 8 in a row is a very tough thing to do in the NHL. And keeping that mentality, even though we lost the game, I think, wins or losses, is, we can just stay the same, stay even keel, stay level-headed, and, keep on doing our best to win games. And I know that this group will do that.
Everybody on this team played great tonight except for me. We lost because of me. He fully owned it, Gager. He fully owned it. And you know what? He's been good at handling these types of situations after tough losses, especially early in the season. He's got that positive mindset. How much will that appease people? And then what do you expect from him and the Oilers on Saturday against the Florida Panthers?
Well, first of all, I like what he said, Tommy. He takes ownership of it. Like, if I make those saves, we're probably playing. We might still be playing, or we might have probably won that game. But no, it's it's an interesting position being a goalie, Tommy. You're the hero or you're the GOAT, right? I mean, and this whole game encapsulates why people like myself loved playing the position, because you had one guy at the other end when you have 20 guys coming into the room and hugging you, basically thanking you for winning you the game and being part of those things. That's why those are the things you really miss, being part of something special, right? And you hear Stuart Skinner. He goes, "Yeah, I'll be better from this." Yeah. This kind of you don't learn a lot from winning about yourself as much as you do losing. Now he takes this. It's really tough. Like, to know how hard everyone on your team played, and you made a couple mistakes to cost your team. That's tough. Like, you gotta be very strong mentally to deal with that and push it to the side and move forward. And everything that he said, even his demeanor, tells me that, yeah, I'm taking it, no problem, but I'm going to be better for it. Like, that's what more do you want from a guy in that case? I don't think he's being too hard on himself. I don't think he's one game's not going to break him here. I think he would probably go out and play another game right now if he could to get this one past him. That's the kind of fire I think Stuart Skinner has.
The ever elusive 900 save percentage and sub 3 GAA, although he did get below 3 going into this game, was creeping up towards 900. Not quite there for Stuart Skinner. And if the Oilers continue to play well and he continues to play the way he did prior to tonight's lapses for 15 minutes, like Gager alluded to, then I think he'll probably get in and around there, because I see a lot of people saying we just want league average. And I saw a text.
No, we don't want league average. We just want someone, whether that's Stuart Skinner or Jack Campbell or Jean-Luc Picard, to just get hot for 2 months.
Right.
Just get extremely hot for 2 months. That's all you need. Because look at the past few Stanley Cup winners. It's basically, aside from Vasilevskiy, is just a guy getting hot for a few months and holding the chalice at the end. So, Stuart Skinner, a good enough goalie to get us to the playoffs? I say us. I'm sorry.
Well, you played for the team, Joaquin.
Player. So, but now I'm an expert analyst, Tommy. I have to be professional. I do think he is more than adequate to get the Oilers to the playoffs. What happens then? Again, this is another little microcosm of a season. We saw how he played last year in the playoffs. There's a fire there of redemption to show that he can carry the ball in the playoffs. These are little learning moments. Oh, okay, I remember, I let in those 2 stinkers against Tampa. Okay, I came back. I did. This is what I did. They're all learning moments throughout the year.
Speaking of learning moments, speaking of what happened in the postseason last year, do you notice now when he goes to play the puck, he kind of leans on his stick quickly?
I asked him that, and he says I test it a lot more now. Again, a learning moment, right? Just take it over. You watch when he takes a sip of his water bottle in games. I saw him do it. He just grabbed the blade and kind of gave it a little tilt. Okay, like the guy picks things up quite quickly.
Yeah. Gager, Fuhr, Cujo, Ranford, Tommy Salo, Dwayne Rollison.
Throw Roley in there.
Joaquin Gage, and then followed by Bob Essens, and nobody can forget the brilliance of Mikhail Shtalenkov in 98-99, okay?
Perfect. That's good company. It's good company,
You're in
buddy.
great company. Fantastic work as always. Thank you for stepping in for Cass, and I look forward to seeing you either tomorrow or Saturday, my friend.
All right, buddy. See you soon.
That is Joaquin Gage, our analyst, filling in for Matt Cassian tonight as the Oilers fall 7-4 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And yes, for the final time, I do acknowledge that Stuart Skinner needs to be better, and he did let in a couple of stinkers. So just stop it already. Stop it. You're going to make the poor kid cry. All right, let's go back inside the Oilers locker room. I saw some people that want to hear from Leon Drysdale. So YouTube, Trev, let's go to Drysdale next if we can, okay?
Sounds good. Here he is after the 7-4 loss.
Was it just a case of getting goalied a little bit here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously feeling it tonight. So, yeah, thought for the most part we played a solid game. Obviously gave up a couple too many goals, but you know, I thought we were the better team and probably deserved to win. But it's, you know, obviously not the way the league works.
When you win 8 in a row, but the 9th one you still feel like you should have won. Like, it's not like you get satisfied. So.
Yeah, that's sorry. That's a positive, right? I see that as a positive. You know, probably should have won this game tonight. Didn't. Move on, regroup, and you know, go back at it on Saturday.
Is that the positive, really, Leon, when you look at how well your teams played, that this wasn't a game where you maybe just took your foot off the gas and lost? Like, you know, you had pedaled down all night and probably maybe could add a lot more goals.
Yeah, for sure. Created a lot more chances. Thought, again, played a really good game. I mean, I 8 times out of 10, 9 out of 10, you probably win that game, right? So, you know, obviously they're an experienced team, and they capitalized in the third. So sometimes you gotta, you know, tip your cap, I guess.
From your vantage point on the ice, like, what is it about Vasilevskiy that makes him so good, that maybe impresses you just as a shooter?
I think he just reads the play really well. You know, I think his technique is, of course, incredible. There's so many things he does really well, but I think just the way he anticipates and reads the play is obviously probably the best in the league. So, yeah, definitely ran into him tonight.
All right, there you go. There's Leon Draisaitl talking about the difficulties of trying to score on a guy like Vasilevskiy when he's at the top of his game. And then obviously we can counter when your goalie lets in a couple of tough ones. Sometimes you lose, even after a great performance by the team in front of them. Again, I acknowledge this. So just to make people aware, yes, I acknowledge Stuart Skinner let in bad goals tonight. Absolutely. And the Oilers fall 7-4. We could go back into the locker room. Let's hear from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who had a decent game tonight.
Did a lot of things well in that game. Just didn't get the result you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, obviously disappointed not to get the 2 points. I thought we worked all game, and I mean, they obviously have some skilled players that when they get opportunities, they can make them count.
Did you feel, is there some of the goals, what didn't you like, I guess, maybe from your standpoint on their goals?
I mean, it's tough to say at this point. Obviously, go back and watch the last few there, but obviously we were push, and I think we had some great looks, and I mean, Vasilevskiy made some big saves for them, where we thought they could have went in for us. So I think we got 1 or 2. We kind of put them away.
Is that just a world-class goaltender at his best, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of the best in the world, and obviously was feeling it tonight.
When you're peppering a goalie like that, and he's making those saves, does it ever get to the point where you feel like, man, like, this isn't our night at all? Like, you kept pushing, you did score 4, but we could have had 8 or 9.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think you just want to keep peppering them because odds are eventually you're going to break them down. So I thought we did a great job of sticking with it and continue to shoot the puck, continue to get guys around there and get those second, third whacks. But obviously just 1 too short tonight.
There's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins summing up his team's loss, 7-4-2. The Tampa Bay Lightning, Nugent-Hopkins a goal and 2 assists, 6 shots on net, and 22-42 time on ice. Great handle from this text. Russian spa guy. Text in says, boys, how about a great game from Nugent-Hopkins? That was a nice redirection on that goal to cut the lead to 5-4. Of course, the Oilers let in a couple after that and ultimately fall 7-4. I'm going to read this text before we go to Chris Knobloch and then get to the player of the game and then wrap things up with some more texts. This text says, LOL, Edmonton fans are hilarious. Yup, Skinner sucked and lost the Oilers the game tonight, but he has been steady for several wins. It's like Oiler fans are wearing the Quaker outfits from the 1700s with those ugly hats and pitchforks ready to burn the evil witch, Skinner, on the bonfire. Chill, biatches. Let's bounce back Saturday. That text coming from a 403 number. So make what you want of that, but good context there from that texter. All right, do we have Chris Knobloch? Trev?
Yep, he's all ready. Here he is.
All right,
The result, but what did you think about your team's play, the result aside?
Overall, I thought we played pretty well. Anytime you put up, I believe it was 53 shots, you must be doing something well. You're pushing. Even after the first period, I know we were down 2-0, but, I thought we made a couple of mistakes and it cost us. But overall, I thought we could have had a few more goals, or could have had some goals in the first period. We got them in the second. But overall, pretty good effort by the guys. I would like us, work on some things, but the effort was there, and we just came up a little short.
Stuart Skinner was pretty, honest and direct about his own play. He felt like, in his words, that he lost the game for the team. What do you think when you hear that as the coach, and what do you think about the kind of the accountability that he has for himself?
I hear a guy who cares, putting out 100% effort every time he hits the ice, whether it's games or practices. I know he came up big in the second period with some big saves. I know we wasn't tested very much, but I know at the end of the second period, came up huge save, maintained the 1-goal lead going into the third period. There's a couple that he probably wants back in the third period, but we'll all our guys have bad games, and we'll put them behind us.
Chris, this question is from Cam. He wanted to know if you think that Skinner looked or maybe felt a little bit tired, and if that's a concern.
No, I think tonight was, the last week he hasn't played very much. Yes, he played the previous game. I think the workload in that game was pretty adequate. I think maybe it's tough for the goalies when they're not getting the flow. A lot of time in the offensive zone, they're not getting the shots. You kind of maybe lose focus. I'm not sure what it was, but I don't think that had anything to do with it.
It looks like with Drysdale, you've had a few combinations of wingers. You're trying some different things there. What are you seeing, and what did you think of the Janmark and Fogel pairing with him?
I think they had a lot of good chances tonight, and they spent a lot of time in the offensive zone. I think the only time we got away from it was when Leo was taking key face-offs in the defensive zone. Otherwise, I think pretty much all his shifts were with those two wingers.
And I meant more over the last number of games where you moved things around a little bit. How are you liking kind of what you're seeing through that middle part of your lineup?
Well, we'll let them play through it and kind of build some chemistry. And tonight I thought they had more chances than they gave up. And I know it didn't show up on the plus-minus for them, but and I think they could have had several goals, especially early in the game.
Chris, how do you react when your team's playing that well, especially the second period? You're all over them, and Vasilevskiy, showed why he's maybe the best goalie in the league. Do you take solace out of that, or is it like, hey, part of your job is to score? How do you approach it at a point like that where maybe you could have put the game away?
There's always going to be games where you play well enough that you should have won, and there's going to be games that you win that you don't. And tonight is going to be one of those where it just didn't work out. I liked our guys' effort, and we do that again, play like that more often than not, then we'll win. And I came in here and we talked about the process and doing things right, and we can't always look at the outcome. Tonight's one of those times we can't look at the outcome because there was more good than bad tonight.
All right, there's Chris Knobloch. More good than bad overall. Does point out some guys have tough nights, and that was in response to Stuart Skinner allowing a couple bad ones in the third period, and the Oilers falling 7-4. They have adjusted the shots officially on NHL.com. 57 for Edmonton to 24 for Tampa. So the Oilers peppered Vasilevskiy, and he put on an absolute brilliant masterclass of a performance against Edmonton and picks up his 5th win of the season. All right, time now to get to the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Remax Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current one. Community driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. YouTube, Trev, what do you got for us tonight for the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game?
How's it going, Tommy? Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Stuart Skinner. I'm just joking. I just want to see what the chat has to say
tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm happy. I'm not alone. You and me. Well, I guess I don't know if Gage. Solidarity. I don't know if Gager was getting any hate, but I know I definitely got some. Yeah, so whatever. It's all good. Spread the wealth. Honorable mention, obviously, Vasilevskiy, just a stud, absolute stud in net. We talked about it throughout the whole post game, so I'm not going to really talk about it too much more. But for an Oiler, I thought he was pretty good tonight. Darnell Nurse, 1 goal. It was a shorty. It was his 5th shorthanded goal of the season. I think every game he's getting better and better. Is that Paul Coffey? Is it just I don't know, but he's looking really, really sound defensively. He's using his stick on the penalty kill, closing the gap. I've said it kind of all before, but I've really liked his game. Unfortunately, he was a -2, but 4 shots on net. He jumped on the rush quite a few times, and he had a solid night. So it sucks he's a -2, but all in all, I thought he had a really good game. Darnell Nurse is your Damon Bunting Player of the Game.
All right, YouTube, Trev, nicely done, my friend. We're going to wrap it up. I see the nasty chat. It's kind of winding down a little bit, but people going at each other. People a little bit feisty tonight after that loss to Tampa. I understand it. They get a chance to atone against the Florida Panthers. It's going to be a tough test, but we'll see if the Oilers can bounce back and wrap up this 6-game homestand with 5 victories. That is still pretty damn good. They're going to need a full 60-minute effort, and they're going to need their goalie to make some saves when they expect him to make some damn saves. There, I said it. All right, we're going to wrap it up with this text from Fat Dan, who I believe this isn't in a sarcastic tone. Fat Dan says, "Oh no, coach didn't say that Skinner didn't lose them the game. Everybody contrived to panic. We have a goalie controversy in Edmonton. Pickard, the new starter? Ooh, boy." Fat Dan with that one. All right. The Oilers fall 7-4 to Tampa. 13-13-1 on the season, and we'll look to bounce back Saturday against the Florida Panthers. That is a late game on Saturday. We are on the air at 6:30 p.m. Be sure to tune in right here live on EST for the Oil Stream pregame show. Big thank you to everyone who tuned in. Big thank you to everyone, even the ones who texted in to roast me. I understand. If I can help be your punching bag to help alleviate the pain, that's why I'm here. And I appreciate the conversation as well. And thank you for watching and listening. For YouTube, Trev and Joaquin Gage and all of us here at Edmonton Sports Talk, thank you as always. We'll see you nasties in the morning tomorrow.